This morning I had a very good black tea with my friend Yu, and I wanted to know more about it. So my friend told me that it was grown in a plantation quite close to Pu'er City. We're on the way now, we're heading north with the family, and we're going towards North of Pu'er City. So it's the first time we're going to explore this area. I really don't know what it's like. I just hope our car can make it through the small roads. Apparently they're in bad conditions. We'll see that. This black tea we had this morning was very interesting because it has some oolong-like characteristics. And it makes sense because it's made from oolong raw material. So the plantation we're going to visit now is oolong tea. No, I'm not really clear about the situation, and that's why we're traveling there. I can see some tea gardens. Let's go there. There's a farm on the right. We're going to park the car here and have a look. So there are a handful of tea gardens here, but they have big leaves and they have a single trunk. This is not the oolong tea plantations that we're looking for. We're gonna have a look around, maybe find some higher altitude areas because it seems that it's flat land. I'd like to explore the hills that are around here. Let's go. I was on the way back to my car, but I saw something. Look at this. I think I found them. Let's close in. Yeah, this looks like oolong tea. You can touch the leaves. They feel much thicker than the Assam varietal. I'm 90% sure it's oolong tea. Now we need to find who owns these gardens. They seem very neglected. Have a look. It looks like there's lots of weed. It's not a very clear garden. Look at this. It's a real mess inside. It's gonna be very hard to get inside the gardens. So I guess these gardens are not picked at the time. We're gonna try to get in, but I can barely make it. And there's probably snakes inside. Now if you look at all these flushes, they are pointing straight towards the sky, and it shows that this garden probably hasn't been picked last year. And it's a time now during which we want to prune the tea gardens, so these gardens are not pruned. It means that they are not harvested. Now here you can have a look at the damage from what seems to be a fungi or maybe bacteria colonies that attack the leaves, and it induces a kind of rot. Let's get it a close-in shot. Yeah, you can see this leaf is damaged and all of its sisters are as well. At this stage of severity, I guess it will have an influence on the harvest, but anyway, these gardens are not harvested. It's going to rain now. I need to get back to the car because I left the roof open and I don't want to get soaked in the middle of that abandoned tea garden. So the best thing I can do, I think, is try to find people, maybe spot a tea factory. So let's go back to the car and hurry up.走吧，走吧，要下雨了，快点，卢卡，快点，拜拜，卢卡，拜拜。哦， An old woman just came through this door, just by the side we parked our car. Let's have a look. It looks like a factory. There's a lot of wood in there. It's probably for drying tea. 那咱们不分给你们吗？那些土地？
土地是我们的，但是老板不在，没有办法，政府的争取去了。
I had a short conversation with her. So they are a tea factory, but they only process green tea apparently, or maybe pu'er tea, it wasn't very clear. And I asked about the oolong tea gardens. She said that they were established by a Taiwanese tea boss 20 years ago, but then he left, and the gardens have not been redistributed to the local farmers. They still belong to the Taiwanese guys, so technically they are not allowed to harvest them. She pointed the direction of some more oolong tea gardens, so I'm gonna go. It's slightly uphill. There's a large power station on the left, which reminds us that we're not too far from the city. And I'm gonna go on those small roads and try to have a look at more oolong tea gardens. Oh, that's a tea factory there on the left. How come nobody's home? Well, it's probably because we're close to the Chinese New Year, or maybe people are busy in the fields at this time. So it seems it wasn't a good day for tea hunting because there's nobody in the village and it's raining cats and dogs. So I think we're just gonna go back to Pu'er and enjoy that oolong tea that we have. So here I just found a sign that says 软质乌龙茶区. At a first glance, it would seem that it's only a swamp here. It's totally covered in tall weed. But if you look closely, you can see those Qingxing oolong completely covered, engulfed by the weed. And this kind of breaks my heart because it looks like good tea. Look at all these beautiful tea leaves. I'm sure they would make very fine tea. So I'm happy that we got some black tea from this material. But now, what can we do with that? Actually, you would just need to clear the weed, and I'm quite impressed by the resilience of these tea trees. So the rain has stopped now. We're almost on top of that small hill that's covered in Qingxing oolong varietal. That area doesn't look particularly pretty, but my intuition tells me that we can make good tea out of those oolong tea cultivars. It was now time to go home. We collected a lot of food for thoughts on this short trip. Who was this Taiwanese businessman? What happened between him and the farmers? Why establish such a nice plantation and leave it out to the weeds? We surely had more questions now than when we arrived. I needed to talk with my friend Yu Jianhui about this story. There will be a lot to discuss, but that will be for another day. Thank you for watching, and see you later.